All right, man. College football playoff is set. You have number one seed Alabama after beating Georgia. They take on Cincinnati in the Cotton Bowl, 3:30, New Year's Eve. Okay. Back in the day, I think the it depends because the BCS was some bull job because it depends. I mean, you can have two teams competing for the championship, but not competing against each other. And I like the football playoffs a lot better than the BCS. I mean, the BCS you could share a national title. You can win a national title. Virginia Tech lose their bowl game, and Florida State win their bowl game. It was just a lot of computers. It took a long time getting to the college football playoffs and getting a determined winner. And I heard that they was uh, expanding the playoffs didn't sound too good. He's here 12. I think 12 was the expansion, and you got to think about the kids going to the pros, playing too much football as amateurs. So four is probably where it's gonna stick at 12. I mean, so you said 12 teams. You have one. I think four makes it prestigious. I mean, when you start letting 12 teams in, I mean, then you open up for more board job. Well, why did seven ACC or eight ACC teams make it, or SEC teams, or you open yourself up for a lot more criticism, which um, I don't think you want to open yourself up. I think four. I mean, if you did six, you could do two bye weeks. Then you get criticism there. But four, I mean, it took us long to get to four. It took us a long time to get to four. I mean, since the '80s, they was doing it the BCS kind of way, where computers do this, and instead of finding out who was best on the field. So I like the way that they doing it here. I mean, obviously, love to see 12-game playoffs, but the question would be, would we remove my bad? Will we remove a game from the schedule? If you're gonna add a game or two, do we move two games off the schedule? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that would be the question. But yeah. Then you got Michigan and Georgia, the Orange Bowl. That's the night game at New Year's. I'm not sure which one the most prestigious, but then about 10 days later, you got January 10th, Monday, the national championship. So, honestly, I guess Michigan and Georgia would be the prime time game on New Year's Eve, 7:30. Florida, I think the Cotton Bowl is in Texas. I could be wrong. So, I mean, Alabama getting the number one seed, I'm fine with it. They beat the best team in the country in Georgia. Somebody pointed out that a 9-5 or 9-2 Kentucky Wildcat was Georgia's best win. You know what I'm saying? So, in Alabama struggle versus you lost to Texas A&M, struggle versus Arkansas, struggle versus Auburn. I mean, they was a guy from getting out of bounds away from not being in a national championship. But hold on. Had that guy from Auburn, got out of bounds, they would have beat Georgia. I mean, could they rationalize putting a two loss win Georgia team, Alabama team over Cincinnati, or over Notre Dame? But I mean, it is what it is. We didn't have to cross that road, but I felt, when you look at it, I mean, Cincinnati win over Notre Dame was more impressive than beating Kentucky. So Cincinnati probably should have got the luxury of being three, and Georgia should have went to four when you look like that. But Georgia dominated their schedule, and I think dominating the competition that you were supposed to in Cincinnati, they do it that this year, and the SEC always get the benefit of the doubt because they've dominated the college football playoffs. Sort of like Florida State dominated the '90s, and you know Miami dominated the '80s and some of the early 2000s. So, I mean, I understand it. Benefit of the doubt there, and also Notre Dame with the coaching switch and Brian Kelly leaving, that could have hurt their chances as well too. But honestly, bro, I'm being honest. When you look at it from a logical standpoint, this is fine. This is fine. You could have made a case for Georgia and Alabama right from the rematch, but once you look at it, like I said, I think Cincinnati has got a lot to prove versus Alabama, and they might be able to prove that they can get better recruits to Cincinnati and they can win this game, and they might keep Luke Fickle here. There's rumors that might be Trey Lyons was trying to get Luke Fickle to the NFL this past offseason, and he stayed at Cincinnati. So, it's rumors that maybe he might want to, head over Notre Dame and get a bigger budget, But right now he here, and I just don't think they got much of a chance. Alabama, they won't have Meacham. I think he had a ACL. They dominate They dominate the trenches, and I think they dominate them. But Desmond Ritter can be special, and I think they have a former Alabama running back and forward on there. About can they stop them defensively? Can they compete with them in the trenches? And if they compete with them in the trenches, can they stop them defensively? So, I mean, obviously, I think the nation to be rooting for Cincinnati because Alabama was just so dominant, like New England was in the 2000s and through 2010s throughout their dynasty run. But Cincinnati can win this game. That'll be the biggest in their program, I would believe. And you pull for them. There's no ill will towards Alabama. They just dominate year in and year out, and they get the best of everything. So it wasn't always like that for Alabama, but I respect. This is not a prediction. Maybe down the road I'll give you a prediction, but I would expect the edge will go to Alabama. But I think the nation we always pull for underdogs, and I think they will be pulling for Cincinnati and some of the odds. So right now, Alabama opened up a 14-point favorite. So they favored Alabama by 14, and Cincinnati got to cover 14. I mean, the money line is Cincinnati plus 420. If you bet 100, they win any by a point or whatever. You get 420. Every 100 is $420. You win. Alabama's a negative 600, so you got to bet 600 to win 100. Over and unders is 58. So since Alabama's huge favorites, you're talking about going down to the Orange Bowl in Miami, Michigan, and Georgia, two of the highest grossing college football programs, right there with Texas. Texas, I think they're the top three most years in and years out. So you got the biggest money game going to Florida, Miami to be exact. So we expect the ticket to be a nice price, and they both financially are two. I think 1, 2, or 1 and 3. Georgia being 1 and Michigan being 3 in most years. The gross in Texas is usually number 2, or interchangeable with Georgia for number 1. So financially, it's made too much sense to put put Michigan versus Cincinnati. Even though they're two Midwestern teams and they all kind of travel in the same way down south. Financially, two of the top 3, Georgia being 1, Michigan being 3 in most years. Gross in football program. So I mean, they wasn't gonna pass up a chance to put Michigan and Georgia in there, and really Georgia quarterback issues in Michigan. Really, the issue with Michigan, I'm a Michigan fan, is Harbaugh coaching on this level. Can they compete with Georgia's defense, especially after what Alabama did to them? But so as far as right now, there's no line on Michigan. There's no line on Michigan, and oh yes, it is. I just didn't look right. So right now, no, it's no line on Michigan. Right now, Georgia's +1, Alabama's a +120 to win it all, and Georgia +135, and Michigan is a +750, and Cincinnati's a +1800 to win it all. So yeah, so they favor Georgia and Alabama the rematch in the national championship game, and you can't fault them. But there's no Michigan Georgia line just yet on FanDuel, but yeah, I mean, I think Michigan can do it. But Georgia's a tough task. Georgia's a tough state. And we'll see, man. The national championship game will be on June 10th, Monday. So 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm pulling for Michigan to do it, man. They can be a whole new type of recruiting world for Jim Harbaugh. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Thumbs up the video. Share the video. I'll be coming back with predictions before the game, a week before, 2 weeks before. We'll see. Check out the College Sports playlist. Want to make a donation? Cash App CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link in description. Other ways to donate: thumbs up, share the video, subscribe to the channel, comment, hit the bell icon button, hit all notifications, check on Facebook live, drop a video. Find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Reach out anytime. Got business question, inquiry, response, video question. Appreciate the love, support. Check the College Sports playlist. Peace.